The WNBA ought to look into Brittney Griner's alleged use of foul language toward white women, but we have heard nothing at all from the league. Brittney Griner elbowed Caitlin Clark in a bizarre manner before calling her a trash white girl, and she hasn't responded. Which I think is important because I've seen that video a million times, and it appears that Brittney Griner says _white girl. Her disturbing attack on Caitlin Clark, calling her a trash white girl, shocked the WNBA and caused a lot of backlash. Fans are now calling for an investigation. And explosive rumors regarding Griner's identity are resurfacing. Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball and the Rookie of the Year. She is ranked 4th in the league in MVP voting and is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this world. Brittney Griner is actually a man. If you support Caitlin Clark, please leave a comment right now with a 100% CC for love and support. She's attracting insane amounts of viewers. Caitlin Clark is the main attraction. She is the franchise player and the MVP. She wasn't the one running down the court. But she is my role model and someone I truly look up to. Why do you like her? She's so good at basketball because she's that amazing person who wants to, although the tension had been building for weeks. Brittney Griner's actions toward Caitlin Clark sent shockwaves through the WNBA. She fouled out during a heated game, and as she left the court, cameras captured her mouthing the words, "Trash effing white girl Brittney Griner, who I can't stand." It's sad that she graduated from Baylor. Her lip reading, "Yeah, trash white girl." Trash blanking white girl was directed at Caitlin Clark. The video went viral almost immediately, and rightfully so. It wasn't just any insult. It was racially charged, purposeful, and venomous. Even commentators and former athletes were shocked when Skip Biss called it out, stating right away that it would have been a career-ending move if a white player had said "people black girl" on national television. Is the WNBA okay with one of its players saying "white girl" on the bench and being caught on camera saying that? I suppose they are. Of course, the league would not be okay with a white player saying "black girl" on the bench. Bench enrage and being captured on camera by TV would have resulted in an instant suspension, if not the end of the said white girl's career. However, when Griner made that statement, there was no suspension, fine, or even a formal league response. This obvious double standard initially infuriated fans. But it's plausible that _white girl was about Caitlin Clark's popularity regarding her stature, her influence on the league, and let's not forget that Caitlin Clark has been subjected to this type of abuse since day one. She has been repeatedly targeted, elbowed, and shoved a knot for dirty play, but just for being great and white. We've even shown you videos of her being elbowed and crushed during inbound passes where they rammed. The WNBA launched a No Space for Hate campaign earlier this year. The WNBA has stated repeatedly that there is no place for hate. Griner's outburst was just the latest escalation in a troubling trend. This wasn't heat-of-the-moment trash talk. Rather, it was hate-directed, calculated, and caught on camera. There is no place for racism. But when Caitlin Clark is the target of racist taunts, fans are demanding answers. They want to know why the league ignored the situation and why Brittney Griner is being shielded when it's obvious that she went too far. Now let's change the narrative. What if Caitlin Clark had said what Brittney Griner said? If she had called Griner a trash black girl on live television, there is no doubt what would have happened: a huge outcry, breaking news headlines, league-wide condemnation, and an immediate suspension. Let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's occurring throughout the league. To put it bluntly, Skip Biss said that kind of thing. The league would not tolerate a white player calling a black girl effing. Commentators rushed to make excuses after Griner, a veteran player and well-known WNBA figure, made a racist remark that would have ended a white player's career, trash-funning white girl at Clark. The league acts as though it never happened. I believe Griner was referring to Caitlin Clark and a white referee when he said, "Trash, Ash. Trash ass white girls." This is the double standard that is destroying the WNBA from the inside out. If you are a straight white woman in the WNBA, you can never feel totally safe. Some even misrepresent her words, claiming that she may have said, "Whack, call instead." However, the video is real, and fans, lip readers, and even sports media personalities confirmed what they saw. But nothing was done about it. The league hurried to look into Indiana fans after unsubstantiated allegations of racism against Angel Reese. Now ignores racism when it comes from a player. The noise is coming from new fans who yell racial epithets at me, my teammates, and my opponents because, well, those may be rivals. But they are friends. They don't deserve that, so I don't appreciate the new fans. So I think it's okay to do that, and it's directed at Caitlin Clark. Because let's not forget that this isn't the first time that opposing players have publicly ridiculed, disrespected, and physically attacked her. Angel Reese reposted an image that called Clark a coward for fleeing the fade, which is slang for a violent beatdown image that she reposted. And the implication is as follows. This is how they say girl GY, white gal GYA, running from the fade, like she's just as if Caitlin Clark is basically a player who has been shoved and hit in the face without being penalized, and celebrated as if hurting Clark is some kind of sport. However, Clark never retaliates, never throws elbows, never lashes out. She just plays her game and continues to set records while enduring a level of hate that no rookie has ever experienced. During her rookie year last year, Caitlin Clark was repeatedly roughed up by defenders in an attempt to break her spirit, intimidate her, put her in her place, and get even with her daughter for the attention she was receiving. But when these incidents occur, Clark is expected to remain silent, to keep quiet, and to constantly acknowledge her so-called privilege, while the players who target her are praised by some media outlets and shielded by the league. That is injustice, not equity. The WNBA claims it wants to expand. She accused the Indiana Fever fan base of racism. But after an investigation revealed that the accusations were untrue, the least she could do was apologize to our wonderful state and the fans who attend these games and say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." Of course, she won't do that. However, Dan, why shouldn't the Indiana Fever apologize to their own supporters for subjecting them to such accusations? Many of the neutral fans who are watching Caitlin Clark get harassed, ridiculed, and racially insulted don't see any accountability for the players involved. Instead, they see a league that applies, he said. In part, obviously, the league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl on the bench in anger. So, why is Caitlin Clark held to a higher standard than everyone else? Why? Is it acceptable to racially target a white player? But it's a complete scandal if the WNBA will continue to lose credibility until it is addressed, regardless of how many hateful slogans are slapped on the hardwood. As if the shocking verbal attack on Caitlin Clark wasn't enough, another explosive storyline has surfaced. The WNBA, without Caitlin Clark, remains an NBA league. The WNBA will be greatly impacted by this attraction that few people want to watch. Without Caitlin Clark, she is the closest thing they have to quality play, and the Caitlin Clark effect is real. She is the league's most valuable player, and she has been quietly gaining popularity online for years before making a big comeback. In the wake of Griner's most recent outburst, and it revolves on the extremely awkward but inescapable question, is Brittney Griner biologically a man? If so, please let me see something quickly, Brick. Thank you. Get the underscore, get the hell out of here. Yo, jab walking bricks. Oh, I'm not going to fake it just yet. To be clear, we're not promoting conspiracies here. But this story has gone viral. Again, with millions of views, not because people are hateful, but because people are beginning to make connections. This time, it's not just rumors on Reddit or shady comments. First, this person is not a woman. This was posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. The most striking piece of evidence is a topless video clip of Griner posted years ago on her own verified Instagram story, where her chest appears completely flat and masculine, demonstrating that this person is not a woman. This is supported by footage from Griner's own Instagram posts, and what many are calling a glaring lack of transparency from the league, posted to Brittney's personal Instagram account. Instagram uses a combination of AI detection and human surveyors. But the AI detection is specifically used to ensure that no explicit content is posted on the platform. Therefore, it is obvious that whatever AI detection system was in place when Brittney posted this, and it remained up for 106 weeks, wasn't saying, "This is a bear." This is the part that is making fans question everything. Instagram uses both AI and human review to detect nudity violations, and a female torso would have been flagged and removed. However, this video did not go down because it clearly assumed that Brittney was male and showed no signs of surgical scarring, which would normally result from a double mastectomy. Several commentators have questioned Griner's voice, bone structure, Adam's apple, and overall physical dominance on the court, traits far more typical of biological males. Even casual viewers who saw her elbow Caitlin Clark during a game, this suggests that the platform's algorithm may have identified Griner's chest as male rather than female over 100 weeks. The question, is this really a fair matchup, became even more pressing when an anonymous viral post asserted that Griner was a biological male who was compelled to live as a girl because of a decision made by his father. She was screen aggressively, throwing her arm out and making contact with a smaller, lighter player. According to the post, Griner's mother claims that he was raised as a girl on paper, joined girls' sports teams, and has just kept up the lie into adulthood in order to be eligible for the WNBA. Brittney is an odd example. There is no doubt that he is a man, but not in the sense that you might think. He is a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. It claims that Griner lives like a man in every other way, from attire and behavior to marrying a woman, and that he would never have succeeded as a male. Athlete without this gender claim, is this theory extreme? She made him live as a female throughout high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and maintained the charade. The WNBA has done nothing to address the issue, which is the real problem in a world where every player's gender identity is protected. The league is also expected to maintain fairness, competitive balance, and transparency. And at the moment, people are beginning to feel that balance has been lost. Is it unsettling? Broken? Especially when a biologically female athlete like Caitlin Clark is the one suffering? If there's even a possibility that Brittney Griner is competing with a biological advantage, whether it be through bone structure, testosterone levels, or some other factor, the league owes it to all female athletes, especially those like Clark, who are obviously being, "I am so sick and tired of the NBA, WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering, this is disruptive, it's not allowing us to play the game." Brittney Griner declares urging an investigation because, if even partially true, this is about the integrity of women's sports. Not just trash talk or on-court drama. Every time we perform here, there's a lot of noise coming from the stands. It turns out that thousands of people are intentionally sitting there and watching. It's really annoying. Additionally, Griner was already at the center of a global controversy after she was arrested in Russia for carrying cannabis. The Biden administration ended up trading a notorious Russian arms dealer, Viktor Bout, also known as the Merchant of Death, in order to win her back. The WNBA is known for its love of virtue signaling. But even in the case of Brittney's exchange for the Merchant of Death, which is, incidentally, insane, I imagine that a straight white girl would still be rotting in a Russian prison. The degree of privilege and protection that Griner has received is such that his weapons are currently being used in conflict areas in the Middle East. Griner was the one who sold marijuana to Russia and ended up in jail. The Obama administration then traded this man, Putin's merchant of death, back into the arms trade, this time selling to the Houthis. While Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation talent who has brought the WNBAs into the spotlight for the first time in decades, is being elbowed, slurred, and ignored by the very league she is helping to save. It is reasonable for fans to wonder why someone with this much controversy and potential deceit is still receiving the league's full protection. It's absurd, and it's one of the reasons why people art the question isn't just about identity. It's about fairness, truth, and the safety of real women in women's sports. Since Brittney Griner is male, it was perfectly acceptable for her to be topless on the platform. It didn't amount to nudity. Now, some people might wonder, well, is Brittney trans? This was a male athlete competing in the Caitlin Clark, maybe one of the WNBA's biggest victims. In addition to being scandalous, the WNBA under false pretenses would be the biggest sports fraud of the decade. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA to change the game, and Caitlin Clark, a rising star in women's basketball, is attracting insane viewership numbers. Caitlin Clark is the GOAT, and she signed my jersey with such joy that I'm crying. The number 22 jerseys come in a variety of styles, including t-shirts, Iowa jerseys, Fever jerseys, throwbacks, and more. The sheer number of people wearing yellow 22 apparel is breathtaking. But rather than being praised, she has been singled out, harassed, and now racially insulted by a player the league appears determined. It's fantastic news for women's basketball in general, and she was shooting the underscore out of it. Of course, she was right, so she was shooting the underscore out of it. She's the league's face. Agree? The WNBA leadership's silence is deafening, and the fans see it all. I love watching her score and everything about her. She is the face of the league, and I agree. She has nothing but wonderful things to say about herself. She is so hospitable and warm that she can talk to anyone. She is similar to me in that way. Midwesterners tend to welcome everyone with open arms. She was very wonderful to my family. And, well, to everyone, it is a crazy situation when it comes to Caitlin Clark because it is obvious that she is much stronger. Meanwhile, the rumors about Brittney Griner's identity continue to spread. And there are still no answers, no transparency, and no fairness for the women who are actually following the rules. This isn't just a scandal. Women's sports are at a crossroads. Because if the league doesn't stand up for its brightest star, then the fans will. Therefore, once more, if you support Caitlin Clark and think she deserves respect, safety, and an equal opportunity, please drop a remark here. CC 100% at this moment. Share with the world what's occurring, and you're not keeping quiet about it.